Hi, I'm Charles Purcell, and this is The Log, a special edition of The Log because it's Meme and Tweet Day. Meme and Tweet, The Log Meme and Tweet. Favorite memes and tweets that we've come across recently. You know, I like memes and tweets. A meme basically is a one-panel cartoon in the old-fashioned way of thinking about it. When I was a kid, I dreamed of being a cartoonist. That was my first big goal in life. I wanted to be the next Charles Schulz. And then as I got older, I thought, well, no, I'd rather be the next Herblock. Herblock, of course, was Herbert Bloch. He signed his cartoons Herblock. And he was an editorial cartoonist, a political one-panel cartoonist, single-panel guy. And I just thought that was great. Never really achieved my goal except, well, I sort of did. I was the cartoonist on my school newspaper down in East Troy, Wisconsin. I'm talking to you now from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. River West, the greatest neighborhood in the world here in Milwaukee. Yeah, just a few miles down I-43, you'll find a little village of East Troy, and that's where I went to high school. And my weekly comic strip was called East Troy's High. East Troy's with an apostrophe S, as in East Troy is high. That was my little play on words, my little drug reference that the teachers, most of the teachers I'm sure understood and got a little chuckle out of. The principal certainly did not understand it, otherwise he wouldn't have allowed it. And so, yeah, I had a weekly cartoon, a weekly comic strip in the school paper. And then after my first year, the school paper became part of the town paper. It was a small town weekly, of course, East Troy being a small town. I guess the East Troy News, I forget what it was called. But they just gave us a couple of pages in the weekly paper. So I went out to the whole community. It was very thrilling for me to have a weekly comic strip. But then, other things happened and, life happens. And I never really achieved my goal after that. Although I did work for quite a while as a commercial artist and illustrator. And I did some cartooning as part of that job. But no, the daily comic strip or the daily editorial cartoon, that was my big goal. I never got around to doing that. Maybe someday. I'm not leaving that dream behind. Maybe someday I'll do that. So when memes first became a thing, they first became a thing in the pre-internet days when somebody would make a little poster or a sticker, like all the auto mechanics laughing heartily, and the caption says, "You want it when?" or the cat poster, "Hang in there." Those are the two of the iconic ones I can think about. My sister-in-law was the queen of this kind of art. She loved it, and she gathered it and collected it. She'd cut them out of magazines, or then later she'd share them via email, and she'd save them, and she'd forward them to me. And every time I would go down to visit, they lived in Delavan, Wisconsin, not far from East Troy, my sister-in-law and my brother. And anytime I'd go to visit, she'd grab me by the hand, take me into the kitchen to her refrigerator to show me the latest little clever poster or drawing she had in there. So those are the early days of memes. And now that they've reached their full flower, there's nothing like a great meme. Pithy, short, clear. It's like a one-panel cartoon. And I just am a fan. I think it's great. And then, of course, with Twitter, nothing like a great little tweet. Again, very much akin to the abbreviated, almost haiku quality of a 3-panel comic strip or a single-panel cartoon. Say it quickly, say it well, say it succinctly, with pith. Yeah, I'm a fan. I have nothing bad to say. Now, of course, there are good ones and bad ones, just like with anything else. And with the democratization of the internet, of course, anyone can create them. So often they're horrible. That's fine. But the form itself, it's a unique art form that I really think is kind of great. I'm sure you could find much better, more scholarly thoughts and musings about this topic. I'm sure you could, but those are mine. So, meme and tweet day. Meme and tweet. In no particular order, just memes and tweets I've come across lately. From Colin Taylor. Hey, remember when the Panama Papers came out and revealed that all the rich people in the world are part of enormous criminal conspiracy to dodge taxes and hoard stolen wealth in offshore accounts, and literally nothing happened? Yeah, there's a good one. Now, this is one of those double-barreled tweets because it contains a response from someone called Necro Bob. No, that's not quite true. The reporter behind the story, Daphne Caruana Galizia, was murdered. Now, I would never share something with you that I didn't check out, and I did check this out because I didn't remember this part of the story. But yeah, this Daphne person was indeed murdered, and she was indeed a reporter at the beginning of this story. Yeah, Panama Papers. Big story for about, 12 hours maybe at the most. We all heard about it, and then it just went away. Nobody seemed to care. Yeah, the Panama Papers revealed that pretty much all the rich people in the world are part of an enormous criminal conspiracy to dodge taxes and hoard stolen wealth in offshore accounts. And yeah, quite literally nothing happened. Yep, nothing happened. It's meme and tweet day. Meme and tweet day. In no particular order, we're just going through recent memes and tweets that have run across my social feed. Here's one from Marianne Williamson. And I've said before, I really kind of like Marianne Williamson. You'll remember, she's the author and a kind of self-styled guru, New Age maven, ran for president, ran for the Democratic nomination, and everyone kind of laughed her off, with good reason. There are a lot of good reasons to laugh off Marianne Williamson. But she gets a lot of things right. You know, that's the thing about wacky people. About people generally. They can often get things right. Now, their solutions may be a little weird, or their other ideas may be weird, but Marianne Williamson is often on the money in her criticism. Now, would she make a good president? Probably not. Do I agree with everything she has to say? With her entire philosophy? Probably not. But she is quite often on the money. Here's a tweet from August of this year. Oh, just very recently here. And it goes like this. It's an obvious question, but why aren't the mayor of Portland and the governor of Oregon having a high-level televised meeting with social justice and black leaders, making it a kind of statewide Zoom town hall? It's clearly not enough anymore to just say, we need to do better. Yeah, that's a little tweet from very recently. August 2nd, I guess that would be just around the time the Orange Menace was running with his tail between his legs and stopped his goon squad from beating people up. Yeah, he lost that battle. But Marianne Williamson, I think, offers a pretty good point here. She's an outside-the-box thinker. I like that. And sure, what a great thing to have the mayor of Portland, to have the governor of Oregon get in a Zoom meeting with some high-level Black Lives Matter leaders and televise the thing and have a really good all-out talk, debate, bull session. How is that not a great idea? It's a great idea. I'd like to see quite a lot of that, actually. We've got television, we've got Zoom, we've got all this communication technology. Let's put some lively debates out for all to see. I mean, as opposed to this ridiculous shouting we have on the cable shows, which does no one any good. No one gains from any of that. It's a big damn show. That's just a big damn show. Let's have the real players, the actual players, talking to each other directly. And the rest of us will listen in. Don't have to set it up with some big network. You don't have to interrupt it with commercials. You don't have to have Rachel Maddow moderating this thing. No. Nice idea, Marianne Williamson. Meme and tweet day. Meme and tweet, meme and tweet. Meme and tweet day, meme and tweet day. La-da-dee. Okay, here we go. What a liberal really wants, is to bring about change that will not in any way endanger his position. That's a quote shared to us by Margaret from Stokely Carmichael. You may know him as Kwame Ture. Changed his name. I forget when he changed his name. Like other prominent folks, gave up his slave name, adopted an African name. Other prominent people have done that. Yeah, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, best known as leader of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He got kind of dissed by Bill Clinton at the John Lewis funeral. Did you catch that? He succeeded John Lewis as chairman of SNCC, and there was a little difference of philosophy. And I forget the exact quote, but in kind of a reckless, careless way of, I guess, trying to compliment John Lewis at his own funeral. I guess that's fine. But he really kind of insulted Stokely Carmichael. No need for that. Yeah, there was a difference in style and in philosophy between John Lewis and Stokely Carmichael. But there was no need to do that. There was no need to diss Stokely Carmichael. Give him a little burn. That was not cool. Bill, what are you doing? I saw Kwame Ture speak at San Francisco State University when I was attending there as a student of philosophy. That was a great speech. One thing I took away from that speech was about his days in college and that he and his comrades would play by the rules, and whatever book they were assigned to read by their professors, they would dutifully read and meet the requirements set out by their professors. But for every book assigned by their professor, they would assign themselves another book that institutional higher education was ignoring. So they took it upon themselves to educate themselves on revolutionary thinking and authors of color. And that little strategy, that little lesson as a young undergrad really spoke to me. I thought, yeah, you know what? That sounds about right. Don't just assume that your professors are giving you what you need. Yeah, do what they ask. But for each assignment you're given by them, you give yourself an assignment that's going to take you where you feel you need to go. And I adopted that philosophy. I adopted that strategy. For everything my professors asked of me, I took it a step further. But no, I'm pretty sure you're not giving me the whole picture. It's our meme and tweet day. You got to say something about the word liberal. If you're confused at all about the use of the word liberal, of course the right, the conservatives, the right-wingers, they use it as a pejorative to describe anybody who's not crazy right-wing. And so for them, liberal just means everybody left of them. It means centrists. It means way off the cliff radical leftists like me. And it means even center-rightists, conservatives like Joe Biden. They just call everybody a liberal, and it's an insult. Now, people more in my camp, the farther left, we use liberal also as a pejorative. So I know it gets a little confusing. It's really a good idea to avoid labels as much as you can. It's almost impossible to follow that advice. It's not easy to avoid them, but try if you can, because it just gets confusing. Folks on the real left, the revolutionary types like Stokely Carmichael, use liberal to describe these Joe Biden types, or people I'm sure you know. I know a ton of them. Most everybody, the great number of people in my circle, my personal circle, are liberals, which means they vote Democratic. They generally have liberal ideas in the general sense of the word. But no, this quote is absolutely right. They don't want anything to change about their own privilege, their own advantages that they have in life. God forbid anything change there. They want their big, nice house in the suburbs, and they want their wine and cheese on Friday night after, whatever it may be. They want their nice car. They want everything. They want everything that they think they've earned. They don't want real change. There was a great song by Phil Ochs. I'm going to look it up for you right now. Let's see. It was called Love Me, I'm a Liberal. Yeah, here. Okay, let me play a little bit of this for you.
In every American community, you have varying shades of political opinion. One of the shadiest of these is the liberals. An outspoken group on many subjects. 10 degrees to the left of center in good times, 10 degrees to the right of center if it affects them personally. So here then is a lesson in safe logic. I cried when they shot Medgar Evers. Tears ran down my spine. And I cried when they shot Mr. Kennedy, as though I'd lost a father of mine. But Malcolm X got what was coming. He got what he asked for this time. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Get it? I go to civil rights rallies and I put down the old DAR. DAR, that's the dykes of the American Revolution. I love Harry and Sidney and Sammy. I hope every colored boy becomes a star. But don't talk about revolution. That's going a little bit too far. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal.
So that's Love Me, I'm a Liberal by Phil Ochs. I did an updated version of that in a show a couple of years ago. I did a show called I Love America, but It's Complicated. And it was a collection of stories and essays that I put together and a lot of songs. And I rewrote the lyrics. I updated the lyrics to Love Me, I'm a Liberal. All right. Okay, thanks, Phil. Phil Ochs, O-C-H-S, if you're a young kid and don't know about Phil Ochs. A good protest singer, folk singer of the 1960s. It's Meme and Tweet Day, Meme and Tweet Day. Oh, I like this one. You may have seen it. Tammy Barajas shares this. Raise your hand if you think one of the presidential debates should be a form of Jeopardy hosted by Alex Trebek, with categories such as the U.S. Constitution, world history, ethics rules, U.S. foreign policy, facts on COVID-19, and climate science. Yeah, isn't that a great idea? That's been going around. I've seen different versions of this. Absolutely. This is, kind of a joke, but I'd like to find a way that we could take this seriously. Actually make this part of the debates. I would be fine with that. This is supposed to be a job interview, right, for the most important job on the planet. Why not put them through something like that? Now, if you put it in the form of a game show and have Alex Trebek out there, no, I wouldn't want to go to that extent. That's the joke part. But the real part is, ask them questions. Really seriously quiz them on these issues, see what they know. The U.S. Constitution, world history, ethics, U.S. foreign policy, facts on COVID-19, and climate science. Could think of some other categories as well. I love it. I think it's a great idea. When I was probably a sophomore in high school, for the high school talent show, my friend Dave and I wrote a parody of Jeopardy. And one of my contributions to the script was this long list of categories that never ended. The miscellaneous category, which in Jeopardy has these different names, potpourri, this and that, to and fro. One little string I liked. So he's running down all the categories. It comes to actors, actors and their roles, Danish actors and their roles, actors and their Danish roles. I thought that was pretty good comedy writing for a sophomore in high school. I thought that was pretty good. Oh, Dave, if you're listening, those were the days, right? My friend, Dave Jones. He was voted most humorous. You know, at the end of the year, they vote for awards. Most studious, most likely to succeed, most athletic. Well, he was voted most humorous, which I took great pride in because I was Dave's straight man. I set him up. He and I, we were good friends, spent a lot of time together, and whenever we were in a group, I would set him up and he would knock him out of the park. I was Dave's straight man. Oh, we had a great time. And when he was voted most humorous, I took a lot of pride in that. All right, so there's a presidential Jeopardy. Great idea. It's Meme and Tweet Day here on the log. See how many we have time for here. Okay, there have been several similar posts like this. This simply reads, headline, Defund the Police. Let's transform the police, reform the police, rebuild the police, retrain the police, and reprioritize investments into education, healthcare, mental health services, and other community programs. But we must stop saying defund the police. And then it goes into further detail about how slogans matter. This is a toxic phrase. It has good intentions, but it makes people think we want to abolish or shrink the police. So they strike through the phrase defund the police with red lines. And I share it because I completely disagree. I understand the argument. A lot of people have made it. A lot of my own friends have made it. It's a toxic slogan. It hurts our cause. I'm not necessarily in agreement with that. I do want to defund the police. I do want to abolish the police in pretty much every sense of the word and just completely start over. Transform, reform, rebuild, retrain. No. I'm tired of apologizing for what I mean. I'm tired of making accommodations for people who refuse to understand simple truth. So if you're having that debate with your friends and relatives, or even having that debate within your own mind, I, for one, am totally in favor of the phrase, not only the idea, but the language, defund the police. Abolish the police. I'm fine with that. It's really not hard to explain. It's not hard to understand. Anybody who bristles at that is already in a camp that we're probably not going to reach. Anybody with an open mind will take a couple of seconds to understand what it actually means. And if you're ever in this argument with somebody, just tell them. The numbers tell us 4%. Put that little figure in your brain and remember it. 4% of police calls require a cop with a gun. There's some danger happening. There's some violence happening. It really is a good idea to have a gun and a billy club and maybe some mace with you. You're going into a tough situation. This is dangerous. This is violent. 4% of calls coming into the police, coming into 911, meet that category. So yes, I do want to defund the police by 96% and completely rejigger how things work. And if that's not abolishing the police, I don't know what is. Because that 4% that's left still has to be completely transformed. This 4% remaining, this personnel has to be properly trained. Every damn one of them should have a college degree, even an advanced college degree. These should be the best of the best. They should know exactly what they're doing and be 100% accountable. Any whiff of police brutality, of misconduct, they're out. They're gone. They're immediately on probation, an investigation immediately. Zero tolerance. Because if you put that responsibility on someone, if you give them that much power, you give them the badge and give them the gun and give them the right to use it, they better damn well be accountable. There is zero tolerance for someone in that position. Zero. So I'm quite comfortable with the phrase, with the language, defund the police and even abolish the police. It doesn't take long to explain it. And those who refuse to accept it, we're probably never going to hear you anyway. They've got their brains shut down. All right. Tweets and memes. Meme and tweets. What else we got for you? Checking the time here. Oh, we're low on time. All right. Time for one more? Let's see here. Well, let's close with this one. This is very much like the post we shared about so-called liberals. This is from Melanin M. Viscoki. Black liberation and indigenous sovereignty will cost us the systems and institutions we currently maintain. Y'all cool with that? Yes, this is a really important idea that we all have to internalize and think about and talk about. Absolutely. Black liberation and indigenous sovereignty will cost us the systems and institutions we currently maintain. And the most important part is the last line. Y'all cool with that? Yeah, you have to really look at the systems and institutions that provide you your privilege. Economic systems, neighborhood zoning, policing, the funding of education, systems, institutions that we currently maintain, and, if looked at honestly, are the very systems and institutions that maintain our privilege, many of us. So those are going to have to go. If we really want black liberation, if we really want indigenous sovereignty, those systems and institutions are going to have to change. And you're going to have to ask yourself, are you good with that? Y'all cool with that? That's a question worth asking. And you better really think long and hard about how you're going to answer it. Oh, a little tweak here, a little tweak there. No, we're talking about institutions that need to fall. And it's going to affect your life. And are you going to be the kind of liberal that Phil Oakes sings about in Love Me, I'm a Liberal? Or are you going to have the courage to be a real revolutionary? You become a real revolutionary when it impacts your life, and you're cool with it. And you fight for it regardless. Yep, black liberation and indigenous sovereignty will cost us the systems and institutions we currently maintain. Y'all cool with that? This episode of The Log is available right now wherever you find your podcasts, including Apple, iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, many, many more. Go to charlespurcell.com for the full archive and all the other series in the podcast family. Follow, comment, and contact me on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks to our flagship station, River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. Theme music composed and performed by Peter Donalds. From the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee, I'm Charles Purcell.